Those kids I was always trying to run off. Well, Jonathan's the little brother of one of them little girls I tried to run off, and he was also, of course, one of the people I tried to run off. He's having a problem because he's in a situation and he's lonely and he's depressed, and he's hating him fucking self right now. God damn, society got a way of doing that to men, don't they? You're caught in a catch-22. There's not a goddamn thing you can do. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. No matter what you do, it's wrong. No matter what you do, there's going to be a woman who's offended by it. And if a woman's offended by it, people will harm you over it. Pretty simple. So what are you supposed to do? Bow down to the will of every single feminist out there? No, we don't have any feminists anymore. Women's rights surpass men's by a lot. Feminism was supposed to be about equality. This sure as shit ain't equality. I mean, here we got all of this wonderful technology that allows us to know who did wrong and who did right. And yet, we're still going back to the Dark Ages. We're ignoring the evidence and we're going, all right, well, who do we want to believe? Do we want to believe a pretty face? Or do we want to believe evidence? Well, let's just not look at evidence because the pretty face didn't bring it to us. Now, of course, this guy was dating one of the most selfish women that I know down there in Boulder, Colorado. And sure, there's lots of people that are sweet and kind and innocent looking, but it's looking, that's it. Now, of course, with the young woman that he was dating, of course, with him, I'm sure getting blamed for everything that goes wrong must be his fault. That sucks. It more than sucks. But then when I see him posting up stuff about how men are hating themselves and talking about him personally hating himself, well, why the fuck does he hate himself? What did he do wrong? Nothing, actually. You don't have to do anything wrong. If a woman gets bored with you, she'll throw you away like trash. She's allowed. It's just the way life is. If you don't fight for your own rights, and you're constantly fighting for your woman's rights, well, then you end up with absolutely no rights when she decides to screw you over. Now, you felt sorry for her. She's a woman, and we're supposed to, as a society, feel sorry for her. But with his ex, no. I know the woman. I knew her when she was a little kid trying to hang out and do drugs with a whole bunch of fucking creepers down there on Pearl Street. I knew him when he was going down there to see his sister Kayla. She was going out with a guy named David, and again, they were some of them folks who wasn't allowed to be my friend until they were adults. And of course, well, Kayla was one of the first people to come up and tell me that she was an adult. And of course, her boyfriend David came up to tell me when he was an adult. Cute, right? Well, Jonathan, I see what he's going through. And you know what? Maybe his experience with Shiloh is different than mine. Maybe Shiloh was great and kind and treated him like he was a prince among princes, a king among kings even. But I didn't date her. I'm not there to see his relationship with her. And it's none of my fucking business. Now, his life, on the other hand, well, I have an emotional investment in the young man. He's one of the little fuckheads that I ran off for a reason. Of course, it didn't work too well. Janine was pretty much base for all those kids because her son Derek was, well, he was 17 and 18 at the time. So back in the day, yeah, it wasn't Janine that those kids were going over there to hang out with. They were going to hang out with Derek, who just happened to be selling weed for as long. If it hadn't been for that, I wouldn't even know who Maddie Boa is. I mean, I'd know her by face, but nothing more than that. Now then there's this stuff like, oh, well, when women that I know want to binge watch Game of Thrones, here you are binge watching shows about murder and incest, and lo and behold, you can watch an entire season in a day. You'll sit there and you'll watch literally the whole season all day long. Come Tuesday, all day long again. Come Wednesday, all day long again. Let me tell you about Amanda Engline and Lana Engline up there in Gallatin Gateway, Montana. While I was there, I didn't have video games. Now, as an autistic person, video games are actually important for me to be able to wind down. Now, we all hear from these women's about how these guys will only play video games and don't pay any attention to them because of video games. Jesus Christ, we get tired of hearing you fucking nagging. We get tired of you talking about your fucking boss. We get tired of you bitching about your best friend. We get fucking tired of that shit. Even those of us who aren't fucking dating you. Okay? We need a fucking rest from your goddamn bullshit. We need to take a fucking break sometimes for our own goddamn problems. Are you going to take a break from your shit to help us out with ours? No, you're going to tell us we have to do it on our own or we're not real men. Then, of course, there's some opinions that I've had recently that I don't expect to be popular. Now, are they actually my opinions? No, they're not. Do I believe that a mother taking care of her kids at home, do I believe that she's a freeloader? No, I don't. Do I believe that that's an actual job? Yes, I do. However, it is not that way for a man, is it? And that's where equality comes in. If it's wrong for a man, it's wrong for you too. That's equality. If you're going to change the rules for you and have a different set of rules for you than for anything with a penis, well, you and I are going to have issues, we're going to have problems, and I'm going to fucking speak out, and I'm going to be very loud about it. I hope you're used to that. Now, as far as the messed up shit that Shiloh did to me, that's not James's fault. Sorry, not James, Jonathan. James Golden is a different feller who is involved in this situation. A lot of people were involved in the situation with Natalie. Jonathan Golden wasn't. Shiloh was. She sent me a friend request when she turned 18 and, of course, wanted to give me the whole, well, I understand why you ran all of us kids off. I understand. And then, of course, when she wanted to throw a tantrum because she didn't get what she wanted, oh, you guys are going to love that story. Well, all of a sudden, I was always just some big meanie. No, I was a meanie till you turned 18. Once you turned 18, you were an adult, and you were allowed and capable of making your own fucking adult goddamn decisions. Before that, however, you are not an adult, and your decisions do affect those around you to a far greater degree than you are willing or capable of realizing. Oh, you are capable of realizing, but not with your lack of willingness to try to understand. When I see men saying that they hate themselves, this is an assumption a lot of people had towards me. They wanted to say ignorant shit like, oh, Sean, you just gotta love yourself. Well, who said I didn't love myself? Why did you assume that I don't love myself? Because I want my life to end? No, that's not about not loving myself. That's about loving myself enough to know that this shit ain't right and something needs to be done about it. If you're going to do nothing to stop it, you're going to do nothing to end it, you don't care about me. You don't care about the fact that I will have to endure this for the rest of my life. That don't make any difference to you, does it? So you can't tell me that you honestly care about me when you don't. If you don't honestly care about me and you're going to lie to me and you're going to, of course, disenfranchise my name, you're going to go slandering me to my friends, try to paint me out to be a fucking horrible person. Oh, hell, I know all about this shit. I've been through enough of it. I feel bad for Jonathan. You know, I've never had a girlfriend. And I'm going to tell you, I'm better off because of it. If you and I are going to be friends, we're friends first. If you want anything beyond that from me, we better be friends. I'm not going to be swapping snot with somebody who I don't know. If I'm going to be swapping snot particles with you, it's probably, well, honestly, I don't want to bring kids into this world. I don't. I think it's cruel. So for me to swap snot particles with other individuals is just not a happening thing. Now, with Jonathan, he's got the fucking man syndrome, the I'm an American male syndrome, the it's my fault, I hate myself because no matter what, I can't do anything right. No, you did a lot of right things. A lot of right things. But there is no way for you to win when you're arguing with a pigeon. Playing chess with a pigeon. You've heard that argument about Christianity. Arguing with a Christian is like playing chess with a pigeon. All it's gonna do is knock over all the pieces, shit all over the board, and then strut around like it owns the place. Why have we taught women to do this? Why have we taught women that men are to be unthinking, emotionless drones? We're supposed to be Vulcans. That's right. We're expected to be like Spock from Star Trek at all points in time. Oh, your best friend just got his head blown off right next to you. Oh, you're supposed to be fine. You're supposed to be fine. And these people who tell you, oh, it's okay for a man to have emotions, and then the moment you show them any emotion whatsoever, they pounce on you like you're a horrible monster. Men cannot have emotions. Welcome to the dark side. Right? I'm not trying to give no goddamn pep talk here. I don't expect anything to improve in Jonathan's life. I don't think that anything that I have to say, unless, of course, Shiloh sees it, gets extremely shallow and decides that she's going to get back together with him because, well, she's had a hatred for me ever since Natalie was killed. Fuck it. On the bright side, I still haven't killed anybody. Now, Jonathan, he's probably gonna rummage through his head and try to figure out how he can be perfect. Oh, you guys already know what that routine is. How many of you men have gone through the whole routine of, well, she expects you to change. If you love her, you'll change. You shouldn't expect her to change, because if you loved her, you should love her the way that she is. But you need to change if you really love her. And then there's the, you know what? Maybe if I stop drinking beer or I stop smoking pot, maybe that'll make her happy. Maybe she'll stop. And then what do? You take away everything in your life. Everything in your life that is not exactly what she wants. So you are now bending over backwards, trying to break your back to make her happy, and you're not happy, are you? No, you're fucking not. There is no possible way that you are going to make her happy. And there is no possible way that you're going to make you happy while you're busy trying to make two people happy, and one of them is never going to be happy. She's already decided that she's pretty enough, that if she feels she is owed or entitled to something, you owe it to her and she is entitled to it. Plus, Shiloh's just now getting to the age where she realized that she wants nice things. Being with someone who's broke, well, that's just not good enough anymore. Love isn't good enough. What can you bring me? What are you bringing to the table? And us men, we deal with this all the time. It's not about whether or not we're a good man, is it? It's about what we're bringing to the table. What kind of money are we bringing in? What are we scraping in? And what kind of stuff are we landing to put in here for you? When you go to a man and woman's house, a married couple, you go room by room and you try to find something that's his. Good luck. Chances are pretty good that everything in that household is either hers or it's both of yours. But really, what the fuck do you care about a goddamn ottoman for? You're still sitting in the lazy boy that your grandpa died in 30 years ago. Christ. But yeah, then we get of course, like that last post I put up. That came from Jonathan Golden, by the way. It was about a video game console. The one thing that man has that he can use to get away from her. This guy says, oh, it's not about getting away from you. No, it absolutely is about getting away from her. The constant nagging, the constant talking about somebody else, the constant need for support. That's right. I don't know very many women who will try anything at all, without support. Like, you have to hold their goddamn hand through fucking everything. Now, is that every woman? No, it's not. This is specifically what we teach American women. They're all pretty fucking princesses, and they're all owed things. Well, okay. You go ahead and believe that way. You're allowed. This is the United States of America, right? What you're not allowed to do is manipulate a good man to the point that he wants his life to fucking end. Move on and hook up with somebody else. Go ahead. I already know what Jonathan's gonna do. If he drinks, he's gonna stop drinking. If he smokes pot, he's gonna stop smoking pot. If he's addicted to meth, well, that's gonna be a different story. And hell, he might be completely clean. Who knows? But he's gonna try to change everything in his life that he believes might make her happy. No, she's not going to be happy. She's just not. She's at that point in her life where between being with somebody who actually cares about her and being with somebody who can provide everything she wants and some extras, and all she's got to do is put out a little bit, well, like Rabbit says, Jonathan, what does he say? You didn't lose your girlfriend, you just lost your turn. She's a human being and she's allowed to move on. As long as she's not sending motherfuckers to harm you over shit that didn't happen, well, there's not much that can be done for you. Now, if she starts claiming you did shit that you didn't to try to get your friends and your family to harm you, well, that's where I'm going to step in and I'm going to fucking speak up. If it's to the point where you're contemplating suicide, then holy hell, son. Yeah, I know you ain't my son. You ain't ugly enough to be my kid, Jonathan. Not even close. The shit I gotta go through because of Natalie Bollinger, it's gonna be lifelong. I don't have anybody in my corner. My rights don't matter because I'm a male. As a victim of sexual assault, it doesn't matter because I'm a male. As a victim of chronic abuse, it doesn't matter because I'm a male. As a victim of women coming together to try to destroy an innocent man's life, well, I've got a lot of fucking experience with it. And you know what? There is a possibility that Shiloh Marie Epp, It was apparently the old Boulder sheriff's fucking kid. Oh my god, how crazy is that? So what was the sheriff's kid doing down there selling drugs? Sorry, selling pot. When she was underage. What was that about? Is that just some pretty blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl slumming it up? Yeah, it is. When it comes to a single father not getting the benefits that a single mother gets, benefits that are expected to be handed to a single mother, a single father is not likely to get those. Also, you've gotten to hear a few of the stories from single mothers on my page about how, yeah, you spend $200 and at least 8 hours of your time jumping through a bunch of hoops so you can get $50 in fucking groceries once a month. And then, of course, if you don't go, people say you're not trying and they take your kids away. Or they've already taken your kids away and you're just trying to get your court-appointed visitation with your own offspring. But you're not allowed because you're always broke. You're always broke because you're spending $200 a month to go to the church for the 4 meetings a month that you have to go to the church in order for that church to help you. Meanwhile, that church in Longmont, Colorado, it's not just a church. It's not like it's just church people who are donating. No, they are government subsidized. That means the government gives them money to do these things. How the hell is that okay? It's not like these are court-appointed classes. It's not like these people are told, hey, either you go to these classes or you're going to prison. No, it's they have to show that they went there for the meals once a month. Once a fucking month. $50 worth of dried goods. That's what you get. The government doesn't say anything about you having to go to 4 different church classes. I mean, holy shit, why the fuck, with separation of church and state, are we paying a goddamn church to fucking siphon goddamn money like that to sell their fucking bullshit? Victoria Thackchick should not have had to go to 4 fucking classes a month, costing her at least $50 for every one that she goes to listen to some fucking fart knocker who probably fucks kids telling her about his fucked up religion. She's jumping through these hoops to get her fucking kids back. That $50 worth of food isn't gonna last her and her kid for a fucking week. What the fuck is wrong with you? Alright? Now, then there's also the fact that in order to get her kid back, you know that she has to jump through that shit, you fucking piece of shit. Holy hell, and you call yourself a follower of the Jesus. You are charging her, it is costing her $200 a month for classes that are unnecessary and are not ordained by the goddamn state. They put you in charge of a fucking food bank. They didn't tell you that it was okay to fucking extort people, you pieces of shit. And what's this got to do with Jonathan Golden? His fucking self-hate. Why the hell would he hate himself? Why? You know how it is, though. You can't come forward, you're the bad guy. It doesn't matter if you tell the truth or not, she's a pretty white girl. And then, of course, there's the fact that she does have connections in law enforcement, and if she doesn't get what she wants, well, she's going to get what she wants. A lot of these folks, with my situation, after they did incredibly fucked up shit, they want to blame me, like it's my fault. Like I chose it. They want to treat me like I am throwing a tantrum because I didn't get what I wanted. I never got what I wanted. None of these people actually tried the way that I needed. Meanwhile, obviously, since all of them are well aware of how to go through these procedures and been through them before, and some of them to try to retaliate against me for telling the truth. Well, when they played stupid, they should have paid attention to that and continued to play stupid instead of showing me they were capable of doing all those things all along. They just didn't care. It's not your fault that people don't care. You got two choices at that point. You can take the abuse, keep your mouth shut, and take it for the rest of your life. Or you can take the abuse, open your mouth, have a slight possibility of something changing, and probably continue to take abuse. Now, obviously, I like Jonathan. I do. I've known him for a lot of years. When his sister Kayla first started hanging out, I was glad to meet him. I was glad to know he existed. I knew that just like with most of the kids down there, they were fleeing abuse at home and they were just looking for acceptance. They were looking for somebody who would actually love them for them. And that does last for a while. You got a lot of girls who go slumming it because those societal expectations aren't there. That guy is glad to have you there in his company. He is glad that you are paying any attention whatsoever to him. He's glad that you're treating him like he's worth something. Because chances are pretty good that he didn't come in from the best of situations. Of course, then when you become an adult, year 3, year 4 as an adult, that's about the time you just give up on everybody. Probably about year 6 or 7, that's when, women in the United States usually realize that they're sucking way too much off of these poor guys, and these poor guys can't afford it. They're giving up their entire lives for you, but it's just not enough. So, of course, you're going to cut what you consider your losses. You're going to cut that guy who's giving you literally everything that he has in his life. You're going to cut him down to nothing because at that point in your life, you don't have what you wanted right when you wanted it. You thought by now he'd be a multimillionaire, and you know what? Well, you sit there and you watch your Game of Thrones for 7 hours a day, and then you yell at him for playing video games. How are you not seeing the hypocrisy in this? Jonathan Golden is not a bad dude. He's not a villain. And I don't get or understand how it is that somebody could trash him down to the point that he hates himself. There's a lot of guys I know who pull that hating themselves thing, and I ask them why. And it always comes down to the catch-22s. What's the catch-22? Well, there's the bias that keeps you from doing things the legal route. And then there's the legal bias that prevents you from utilizing or using any of the other routes that women are allowed to utilize. Like if you go to your friends for help, you're a stalker. But if she goes to her friends for help stalking you, it's fine. If you try to tell on her and her friends for stalking you, you don't fucking matter. But if she pretends that you're stalking her because you're trying to get help stopping the abuse, you're again the bad guy. Now, unlike most of the guys I know, I'm not a complete and total fucking idiot. I grew up with the best of the best as far as head games goes. And you know what? The best of the best, as far as head games goes, none of them are women. None of them are women. And I'm going to tell you why. Because of societal expectations. Women get the leeway. They get the time of day. They matter. So, as a woman, getting somebody to listen to you is no big thing. For a male, if you can get somebody to listen to you, you got charisma. Jonathan Golden's got charisma. Shiloh Marie Epp, well, she's not good looking. She just got blonde hair and blue eyes, and she's tiny. Now, there's pedophiles that are totally into that. Like that sick old man messing with Shayna. Shayna's tiny, she's petite. Was I worried about Shayna hanging out with that old man? Of course I was. Did I say something about it? Of course I did. Did Shayna and Logan agree with me? Yes, they both did. Did they continue going back and hanging out with that guy? Yes, they did. And for what reasons? Well, exactly the reasons that I stated. It's not complicated. Reading people is not complicated. Understanding the society that you're a part of is not complicated. What is complicated is getting you people to pay attention. You victimize us and treat us like trash when we can't give you everything you want right when you want it. When did I ever get what I wanted? I want to know that. When did Megan Messigatis make a police report? When did Amanda Daniels, a.k.a. Amanda Demet, ever make a police report? When did Kayla Trujillo? Oh, she claims that she did. She claimed that she went in 3 different times on her own. But when you ask her about it, you say, well, which officer did you talk to? I don't know. Well, did you fill out a police report? I talked to him on the phone. Okay, well, that's not the same as going in. Oh, I did go in. I went in to talk to him, and they said you had to turn it in. Well, I already told you. I have to have someone go in with me. So how about next time we go in together? Does that sound nice? For Jonathan, and I know my words don't make a whole hell of a lot of difference, especially at this point. But I tell you, goddamn, if I was a woman, I'd date him. And it ain't because of the way that he looks either. He is a kind-hearted individual. Of course, that also is what's going to get him suckered for his entire life. See, that's the thing with Brandon Ratner. Brandon Ratner is absolutely a skirt chaser. Now, he's not chasing after Gina. He's not after what's underneath that skirt as far as that particular portion of the anatomy. What he's after is not being alone. Loneliness kills him. For Veronica Randall, I mean, she did horrible, horrible shit to him. But she's a female. It's permitted and it's allowed. She didn't get rid of him until she already had another dude who was boffing her. She already had someone else to help take over part of the bills, or all of them. Imagine what it's like for Brandon Ratner going into his house and his girlfriend is stark-ass naked with her legs spread and another dude between them. Yeah, that's gotta fuck his head up. And of course, he's wanting to help me during that period of time, but his head is so messed up at that point, he's trying to find a cure for his loneliness. Any cure will do. Any female at that point who will give him the time of day, he just wants to be loved. Same thing with Jonathan. He just wants to be loved, but he also wants someone to love in return. The whole Beauty and the Beast thing. I don't have to like Shiloh Marie Epp. I know that if Jonathan gets back with Shiloh, that he will probably block me immediately because she ain't going to allow him to be friends with me. Well, that's not going to stop me from speaking up. I don't want the little bastard killing himself. I like him, like I said. Anyway, it's good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper. No victim left behind.